All right, thanks for joining us today. Can you please let us know who are you and where are you from?
Yeah, hi, my name is Justin Buchanan. I'm head of product management for Cisco's Enterprise IoT group.
Okay, and now I understand you gave a presentation on IoT security here at GoGoNet.
Correct.
Give us a high-level overview of, I guess, the landscape for IoT security?
Sure, yeah. The way that we tend to break it down is in three main parts. The endpoints, the networks, and of course the cloud. Okay. There's certainly security considerations across all three of those. Really depending on your type of implementation and protocol and security, you'll need to look at different aspects of those.
Okay, and can you give some examples then on each of the three different layers?
Sure. I mean, cloud is, not that it's more simple, but most folks, when you go to a cloud provider, they're going to have some sort of security already there, right? As you move down the layer into the network, there's certainly things you can do across the network layer to enhance your security, one of the biggest being segmentation. Okay. And so how do devices, so sensors, IoT devices, make sure that they're only talking to devices that they're supposed to, and they don't have free reign of the network. Okay. Kind of moving down to the next level, if we look at IoT devices themselves, multiple different ways to connect, wired, wireless, depending on which way you're going, security considerations there, and your types of protocols that you have. There's a protocol soup right now, if you will, but if you're an enterprise and you're looking to have an IoT deployment, work very closely with your IoT partner to understand those protocol choices that they've made and understand if it's the right fit for your environment.
So are you implying that certain protocols have different security, I guess, characteristics?
Yes, definitely, and certain IoT partners make protocol decisions based upon the feature set that they're trying to push up.
No, that makes sense. So can you give us an idea, what are the top issues in IoT security today?
Yeah, I think what we're hearing from enterprises are probably three main things. Okay. One is kind of who owns the security, right? Is it that IoT partner that you're working with? Is it the enterprise itself? The second would be...
Who owns it?
That really depends. I think ultimately ownership of those IoT devices will end up with the enterprise and they'll own it. But for any early on prototyping, I think you really need some good synergies between the two groups and to have a plan between the two groups.
I think that's key.
Exactly, of who owns what. And if there is a problem, say a patch or for instance, who owns the patch and who pushes that patch ultimately down to the device itself.
Number two.
So number two, as I touched on, the patches. As these devices start to proliferate across the network, how do we make sure that if we find something like a heartbleed, an SSL, how do we quickly close those holes of security?
Number three.
And the third one, I think, is just more general around denial of service attacks. That's what people have said. So people may come in to these devices and use it to block other parts of the network.
What's the most vulnerable part of the IoT network?
That's a very good question. I think right now...
I don't want to give any secrets. But anyway, just generally speaking.
I think anything can be hacked, yes. Right? I mean, I don't think that one part is less secure than another. And I think security, should be looked at holistically across cloud, a network, and ultimately the end devices.
All right. So, someone's looking at IoT for the first time. I think security should be part of their plan right from the very beginning.
Definitely.
Where should people start?
So I think there's a number of good places to start, gogonet.com being one. But conferences like this, right? So folks talking to experts, talking to these folks that have been in the industry for a long time is a great place. There's also the Cisco DevNet site. We have a lot of developer kits for folks to get their hands on and to try to put endpoint devices as well as networking devices on their networks and look at that security for themselves.
Nice, nice. So one parting piece of advice for someone just new to IoT security, what would it be?
I think we said it, and I'll say it again, have a plan, right? Yeah, have a plan on what you want to do and work very closely with your IoT partners to understand that plan as it looks at security across your implementation.
Thanks a lot, Justin. Very useful.
Thank you.